New year, new me. So welcome to 2019. I'm excited that you are watching this video. I can't believe we are already here. Another year has gone by. I hope your 2018 was awesome and you accomplished a lot of great things and your walk with the Lord grew even deeper. You know, so it was interesting. I was making these plans and all of these different resolutions that I wanted to try and keep. And I started doing some research into like why resolutions fail, right? And there's a really interesting statistic about people who make resolutions going to the gym, all kind of seeming to fail out within the first Tuesday in February. And that like nationally is referred to as literally Fat Tuesday, where people who go to gyms are down, the attendance at a gym is down, and fast food restaurants post a higher revenue sale on that same day. And so I thought that was really interesting because it led me into this idea that the reasons why and the motivations behind why we do things really matter. And we can have like these fantastic desires and these great drives and these really pure ambitions. But what I've realized is that all of these things share in common one idea, and that's our will as human beings, right? And we all know that eventually our will fails. Sometimes we don't want to get out of bed. Sometimes we don't want to go into work. Sometimes we don't want to pay this bill. We'd rather have that. Or sometimes we don't find ourselves being able to resist that last piece of cheesecake or whatever it is. And so I began to kind of look into a few different ways that we could work within our will and still be able to accomplish some of the resolutions that we have for each other. And I came up with a few things that I saw that I thought were really interesting. The first one is that ultimately we need to break our goals down into more like bite-sized chunks, right? Like what are things that you can do along the way? So for example, right, if I want to lose 20 pounds this year, I'm going to try and set, instead of saying this nebulous and kind of pie in the sky idea of having a number of 20, I need to break it down into more action item related things. So maybe it's I need to not eat after 7 p.m. or I need to go to the gym 3 times a week, or I need to burn 1,000 calories a day, whatever it is. These smaller action items will allow you to be able to see your goal manifested in a way that's a little bit more realistic. The second thing then is to be able to celebrate those small victories and have different progress points throughout the year. So one of the things that I really like to do is when I have these small milestones and these victories, I like to cross things off, right? Like I'm kind of a list guy. So being able to break down my big goals into smaller chunks is huge, because then I can go down my list one by one and see that I'm actually accomplishing those things. And then the next thing is I check in at the first day of every month, because having the start of a brand new month is kind of functions as a mini new year, in that you're recycling and you're saying, hey, this is great. I'm going to kind of kick myself back into action here. You can celebrate good stuff, or you can kind of reevaluate and say, now, the last 3 days of January weren't as good. So in February, I'm going to try and make sure I keep my full head of steam and be weary, or leery of these 3 days there. And then the third thing is fail forward. Look, you're going to mess up. Man, like none of us are perfect or going to be able to keep our resolutions like first try. There's going to be days where we don't, do the best that we can, or something comes up and life just happens and we can't get to it. And that's okay, right? Like if you only keep your resolutions 3 to 5 months out of this whole year, like that's still a good thing. You want to get to 12 months for sure, but you're improving yourself as a human being. And that just at its core is an excellent thing, not only for you, but for the people that love you, for society at large. And those are all things that are worthy of celebration and things that we should not beat ourselves up over, but instead take pride in. And then the last thing is community. We can't do these things alone. We need to ensure that we are walking together with like 1 or 2 people who will help you and kind of keep you on track, and also those of whom you can keep on track, because when you are investing into somebody else and they're investing into you, you're going to find that it's way easier, to be able to walk through those tough parts when you're in the valley and your will is not as you're kind of slumping a little bit. And we all know the Bible verse that says, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. And I love that idea, because it's not only true, and we've all seen it in our lives time and time again, but the idea is that like you have something to give and to invest in making sure that somebody else succeeds in their New Year's resolution. You have things that you are responsible for, and that's a great thing. We should all want to be able to do that. So if you want to talk more about this, or if you need a resolution partner, somebody to help keep you on track, feel free to hit me up on Instagram. I'm at Joshua_Carman. I would love to connect with you there. Thanks so much and have a great week.